Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at ADA. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have a higher time frame video up above, so check that out if that's more what you're interested in. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to just discuss the ideas of what could be playing out here. So there's two ways that we are looking at this. We're looking at the potential that we have a 5-wave move to the downside, in which case our potential target area is lower down here towards this 1841 to this 1650 level, looking for that possibility of having another two series of 5-wave moves here to the downside. The alternative here that we could count this as a 3-wave move. Now, within the macro video that I linked earlier on in the video, we're talking about a couple of possibilities. We're talking about the potential that within this structure, we could still have this as a 4th, and we're looking for a 5th wave, typical target zone, 20 cent to the 16 cent 04, and that would be looking at this as a 5-wave move to the downside. Alternatively, we could also argue that we could be looking for a C wave here. Now, because this is only in 3 waves at the moment, I would still be looking for that potential to come down a little bit lower here, and that would tie in with this becoming a 5-wave move. Some lower target areas that we have is this 1236 and this 1382 at this 1858 and the 1619 as respective values to the downside. Now, what we need to be careful of is that there is the potential that this whole move over here could be 3 waves up, 3 waves down. We could see this actually develop to the upside as a flat correction. So need to just be on the lookout for this. For as long as we actually maintain this low here of this 22 cents, we could potentially see price start to move up here in a 5-wave move. Now, if this is a flat correction, we have some targets. So as a lower target, which would be a very uncommon target, would be this 0.618, which would be this 3303. Then we do have the 1-to-1, which would still be a running flat target, but more common than this lower one here. And then alternatively, because we've swept this low here, if this is going to become a flat, we could potentially see price actually move to the upside here, looking for this 6376 to this 4959 region. So if we did see a pushback to the upside here, I would be very interested to see how we react on this top trend line here. Potentially this could align with this idea of coming back up here though. First, we need to invalidate that idea of that 5-wave move down. Let's get into these counts on the smaller time frame here. So what we are looking for here within this is that effectively, if we are looking at the continuation down here, what I want to see is I'm counting this as 1 2 1 2 here, and then looking for this as a 3 4, and we're looking for a 5th wave to the downside. Now, we have come up quite high here, to be honest, and the time parameter is not so much an issue because we have pretty much hit the 1-to-1 of this as a wave 2 over here. So what I'm looking for here is, if we are looking at this as a 4th wave, potentially this could even extend out longer here and even move towards this 2 times the wave 2 length that we have over here. So in time wise, it isn't really an issue. What we could still see though, however, is that potentially we could complete here and we could start to break down, but there isn't really anything indicating it at the moment. First off, we'd have to just get a breakdown past this wave 3 low, and then we'd be looking for this lower target here of this 20 cent 36 to this 1795. So what I want to see here, and like I said, I don't think this is completed. I think potentially we've still got another leg up here, and what we'd be looking for, however, if we did start to break down here in a bigger way, is this zone here. And then we'd be looking for that evidence of an additional 4th wave. That 4th wave target would be this 2872, looking for a 3-wave move up and then continuation down towards this 1841. So now in the smaller area here that we're going to zoom in, we could argue that this 4th wave's completed over here, but this move to the downside looks corrective. So I do think that we are still within this 4th if this is the case. Now, if we are looking at that idea of still being in that 4th, what we could actually see is something along these lines. So there's 2 ways that we can look at this. We can look at this as a W into here. The X wave is completed already, and we're looking for this as A, B, and C for a Y wave. Now, if this is the case, what I'd be looking at is this move to the upside here actually being a completed A wave. And what I'm looking for is this support zone to hold. Now, this is a B wave, so even if we are looking at this, this move can technically still come and break this low and still look at this Y wave to the upside, where this Y wave would be something like a flat correction. So we need to just be aware of that. Even if we do see a push down past this low of this 26 cents, we could still see price actually move back up here as a flat correction. Now we have come down into this typical target box area here, which is this 28 cents to this 26.83. Now if we are looking at this as an A, B and a C, potentially there could be a little bit more downside here. Our 1-to-1 would actually look to push us down towards this 27.25, but it is possible that within this structure this could actually be completed as a W, an X and a Y into this low here. We could actually look to turn around, but we need to get back above this 29.37 for more confirmation of that. If we do look to push down one more time, however, here I would be looking towards this 1-to-1, which would actually bring us closer down towards this golden pocket area, which would be this 27.51 to this 27.38 level. Would be also an interesting area to come back down and look to retest some of this wick here that hasn't been filled. You know, if we did move down deeper here, the 786 would actually be towards this 26.83, which would also be a potentially interesting area looking at structure on the left hand side here. If we do move down there, this idea of this C wave up would still be valid. All it would do is it would actually just change this target level to the upside. So currently our Y wave target is between this 1-to-1, which would be this 34.50, and another interesting zone I'm keeping an eye on here is this 0.618. In the case that we get a double top form here, this could potentially be an interesting area to keep an eye on. Now, if we do look to push back up here towards this 1-to-1, I would be looking towards the top end of this channel again and possibly looking for this Y wave to be in progress right now. Now, if we are looking at this slightly different, we could also argue this X wave is still in play and that this is actually our A, this is our B, and then we're looking for another leg to the downside here. So this could actually be W, X and Y, where this becomes a bigger corrective pattern here, or alternatively we could get this as A, B, and then we get a 5-wave move down here for a C wave. What we'd be looking for a 1-to-1 would actually be this other purple target area here. So we haven't come down towards that 0.618, which would be this 27.33. Now if we did see something like this, where actually this is A, B and C, and we look to push down towards that 1-to-1, this would actually look to bring us down lower here towards this 25.71, which would also look to retest this 50%. So this 50% is of this move to the upside that we have. So if we do move down into that 25.89 level, that would align with this 50% retracement. It would also look to sweep this low here. And, you know, potentially we could even see price come down into some of these lower levels, and it could still be in an X wave. The reason why I'm looking for this slightly higher up here is just basing it off of this channel, though these channels can change as wave structure forms. So obviously we need to just be aware of that fact that, you know, we could see a deeper retracement here and still have that potential for a push up for that fourth wave to still be in progress. Now, the other way we were talking about this in the previous video is we were talking about the potential that we could actually be looking at this move as possibly looking to extend, where this becomes 1-2, this becomes 1-2 here, and then we're looking for that possibility of extension from this point. Now, invalidation of this comes by crossing this 25.22. Now, the problem that I have with this count is, unless we're looking at some kind of a diagonal within this, it doesn't really work that well as counting it as a wave 1. Now, it is possible that within this, what we could do is we could argue that we have something like this as A, B, C for 1, this is 2, 3, 4, and 5, in which case we have something like a diagonal in this sense, where this move here we'd rather subdivide in the middle as A, B, C, in which case this whole structure could be a wave 1 as a diagonal, and then we could be looking for this as A, B, and then we get a C wave, or 1, 2, and then 3 to the upside. Now, the way of looking at this as 1-2s would mean that we'd have to be looking at this structure slightly different. We'd have to say that within here we have this as a 1-2 and this is a 1-2 here, and that would be the only way that it would really work. The invalidation of this would come by crossing this 26.72. So as long as we hold this level here, then potentially we could see price still look to rally to the upside, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in this at the moment. And what we'd need to see ideally from our current position would be a move up past this 33.58 for more confidence that we're getting these extensions. Now, the reason why I wouldn't like this is because, like I said, you know, if we're doing this as 1-2, 1-2, this wave 2 is a lot bigger than this one, so it makes it less probable. This is why I'm still thinking this is just corrective. We're going to get another corrective move down here and then a push to the upside, or alternatively the corrective move is completed here and then we look to push to the upside directly in that other structure. This is possible, but you know, for more confirmation of this, we actually need to see price start to develop good structure and break above this 36 cent 59 area for that confirmation. Now, looking at the CPR here on the daily, what we can see is we're currently below these central lines. If we fail to get back above these, we could actually see price come down towards this 27.18. We have this 26.50, this 25.42, and this 24.76. All as potential target points for today. Now, if we are looking at this central area here and we do manage to get back above this, this could mean that price could be gravitated back to up to this 28.94, this 30 cent region, which would be quite an interesting level as a retest of this high. We also do have these higher zones here of this 30 cent 68 and this 31.80 as possible target areas to the upside. Now, these would only become valid if we start to move back above these lines here. For as long as we continue to reject off of these, it would be likely that we would be looking for this potential to come down into some of these lower levels here. Now, this would align with that idea if we do see that upside come into play here, where this is a A, this is a B, and we see that C wave to the upside, then these higher targets could potentially start coming into play if we see a more substantial move throughout the day. Now, if we are looking at the weekly, what we can see is we're currently in between these central CPR lines here, consolidating in this area. If we continue to reject off these levels, we could see price come back down towards this R1, which would be a very interesting level to me because it would be a retest of this wick here. You know, and then what we could then see is that potential that price could either reverse back to the upside here and then look for higher targets, or actually look to reverse, find rejection, and then continue its journey down here. Now, our downside targets for this week are this 26.78, this 24.440, and this 22.79. If we do look to actually hold these central CPR lines and actually manage to break back above these, this could mean we see price get gravitated towards this 30.74, this 32.32, and this high area of this 34.71. So that would align with that idea of still seeing continuation to the upside here, possibly looking towards this S2 here as a possible target for that higher C wave to come into play if we see the price actually move up during this week. Now, this monthly CPRs, we are currently below the monthly CPRs. Now, this is not good. Potentially, we could still look to move back up into this area, but if we do continue to reject off of these, it becomes more probable we could actually see price be gravitated down towards this 2107, which would be our R1 line. Our R2 line is deeper than that at this area of this 1344. And our R3 line is all the way down here at this 0486. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to hit these targets. These are just potential pivot points where we could see price actually look to move into if we do see, you know, that continuation to the downside. Now, if we do manage to break back above these CPR lines here, what we could actually see is price be gravitated towards this 3730 level as a potential target area for this S1. Now, we do also have the 4577 and this 53.46 area higher up here. Now, these would align with the idea of a breakout here to the upside, so we're going to be keeping an eye on these as potential pivot points if we do see price move to the upside in this way. Looking at the range that we have here on this lower area, we're right on this point of control now. If we do see price start to lose this level, we could see quite a significant drop down to some of these levels here, which I'll be keeping an eye on, this particularly this 26.74, this 25.99, and then, you know, if we do look to break down too deep here, we just need to be careful that we aren't starting to form some kind of a five-wave move to the downside here, where we could see that continuation down. This value area low is currently sitting towards this 26.36, which actually be a retest of these highs. So even if we are looking at this idea that this is a W, this is A, B, and we still got that push to the downside for that C wave or that Y wave, we could potentially look to actually retest some of these lower levels before actually seeing that push to the upside. So need to just keep an eye on this if we do start to move back down. Any kind of a retracement up towards this 29.74, which would be our value area high, I'd also be keeping an eye on that as a potential rejection area, because it also aligns with this idea of coming back into these CPR lines. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Everyone have a great day. See you in the next one. Take care.